This might just be the secret best of one standard deck that nobody's playing that is the perfect metagame call right now. So MIQ that we have tracked from Untapped got to mythic rank fairly early, has a 90 and 34 record with a Boros control. No blue in this control deck. Boros kind of token gamer. We're going to go over the deck in detail. We're going to do some gameplay. But notably what I wanted that kind of drew my eye and wanted to highlight, Mono red 23 and 7, Mono black the discard deck 16 and 2, plus win rates against a lot of the decks of the format right now. So definitely something we want to try out. So let's go into the deck tech itself, see what the deck's doing. So Boros control, we are using things like temporary lockdown as well as sunfall. Have sweepers against the format, but this deck's got a very unique engine to it. Caretaker's Talent, one of the new classes. So we've seen classes a couple different ways. There's the black discard one. There's the green one that's comboing with Vraska right now. But for 3 mana, whenever one or more tokens you control enter, you draw a card, triggering once per turn. So you can do this on both turns if you have enough mana. Class 2 is when it becomes level 2, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. And then for 4, it gives your tokens +2/2. So normally you'd see this card, you'd think, hey, let's put it into a rabbit deck, a creature heavy deck. But this one's using it with an engine with things like Urbrass Forge, which creates a token every turn. And it's just like a win condition that sticks on the board, dodges lockdown, dodges sunfall, and then just basically draws you a card every turn and progressively gets bigger and bigger. You can also do it with things like Carrot Cake, which comes in, you get a token. When you sacrifice it, you also get a rabbit. You can sacrifice it either to torch the tower or to itself to gain you 3 life because it's a food in itself. So some synergy there. Get Lost, Lightning Helix, Torch the Tower, all as removal options. 1 Virtue makes you a token, can be an like untap at your end steps. An Archangel Elspeth in here gives you lifelink tokens. Flyers, return all non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, which is kind of cool against all the discard. You could just ult it and bring back everything they discarded. You have like Sunfalls, like I mentioned, then just a ton of utility lands. So the big thing with the mono black deck is, yeah, they're going to grind you out of resources, but if you could just spend mana, you have Fountain Ports here, make you tokens, draw you cards, make you fish. You have Myrex in here. Sunken Citadel reduces the activated cost in here. You also have Restless Biovac as a way to attack in and put counters on stuff like that. The only thing I might want to do, and I'll comment at the end of the video, I may want 1 or 2 Elspeth Smite, just 1 mana deal 3. If the format tends to still be very hyper aggressive, I do want 1 to 2 more 1-drop removal. And then from what I saw like on MIQ's profile, they've been tweaking this list all over the place. So continually evolving, stuff like that. If I were to make the change, I'd probably cut 1 Caretaker, and the Virtue would probably be my kind of guess in terms of what I would change. But what we're going to do is I'm going to demo this deck. We're going to play a couple games. I'll highlight some of the good games with the deck. And at the end, we'll do a wrap up where we go over all the stats. I'll highlight what's worked, what hasn't, any of my thoughts on the deck. And then just see if this is a deck that'll work for me as well as it worked for MIQ. So we'll catch you in the games and then see you at the end for the wrap up. Alrighty, let's jump into a game with this deck. So really want to see how it plays out into some of the more popular decks of the format. So notably here, our mana's not great. Double Helix with some of these colorless lands, so I think we mull. This hand is reasonable. I think we put back the Myrex. This could be the mono black discard deck. So usually with this matchup, we want to stick a Forge. If we could stick a Forge, it's pretty much GG, I would say. So I think here, let's go Carrot Cake. And then go Forge next turn. I can do Forge Caretaker and then get that engine going. Do want the land here. So if they want to use a removal spell here, that's fine. Like, you've answered half of my Carrot Cake. Could see Liliana come down here. So let's not accidentally discard our land. I'm going to discard the Sunfall here. I do think I want to get Myrex into play, just in case they have heavy discard. That's going to provide a lot of residual utility. So I can go Caretaker's Talent next turn. I could just Lightning Helix Liliana. I think, though, we get rid of Helix here. We'll have the talent going here. Drawing a second talent's nice. I'm going to hold off here. Well, we could level it up this turn. I do want to maybe use Carrot Cake here. Gonna get rid of Temporary Lockdown. We're just gonna like draw 2 cards per turn this way. A little annoying. We got a bunch of tap lines. Cut down here. We end the turn here. Stops them from being able to do that. We'll ditch the Inspiring Vantage this turn. So the engine's helping us to grind pretty well here. Get Lost and Helix is really nice. So they might have another removal spell here, but they've been trying to 1-for-1 us. So if I play this, I think we just pass the turn. I was just kind of contemplating because I can make a token. This is on each turn. Because yeah, now we know that they have the Preacher. I think we let this discard happen. We'll see if they attack in. Because now I can Carrot Cake. Don't think we want another Myrex. Draw 2. Fountain Port's nice because it lets us, with the tokens, we could set a second main phase trigger and then draw off the Urabrask Forge if we wanted to. Here, I think we're just going to make a Myrex token. So now we'll copy these classes, draw a bunch of cards, make a bunch of the Myrex tokens, and just kind of go off that way there. Kill this, and then just kind of take them out that way. So great first game, great demo of what the deck can do. We'll jump into another match right after this. Next game up. So we took down Mono Black pretty well in that first game. End of the day. This is some pretty gnarly mana base. I think there's like one too many of these types of effects. Okay, well, temporary lockdown will be very good against the Boros deck. Do want to find a white source. We can get Forge going. I do think cutting one Fountain Port for another Plains could be right. You just have so many double pips here. Yikes. Attacking with this one. Gonna set an upkeep stop. I think this turn it's important for us to hit. Like these Myrics have done some work. The hand's great. We just don't have the best mana. Okay. Knight Errant come down. Ideally, what we would do is get lost the Knight Errant, like hit a land, get lost the Knight Errant, and then untap. My god, it didn't even let me. Magic! So, I was supposed to get a stop. It decided stops are legal. It's pretty unfortunate. Because now we're like 2 turns behind. So, bit of an awkward one. I do think I'm going to make that one change. I'm going to include this game in because I think this game is reasonable to look at in terms of like what the deck can and can't do. I'm gonna miss a line drop anyways. That Carrot Cake basically saved us 7 life, which was nice. Well, untap line for Sunfall or bust. And we are just really not drawing lines this game. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Five, 10, 16, 20. A bit awkward. Mana really didn't cooperate there. So I think we make that one change to tweak the mana just a tad. I think there's too many colorless lands in this deck. We had a white there, our hand's a lot better. We can play out a lot of this stuff. So I'm going to go up another Plains, cut down a Fountain Port. So we'll catch you for the next one. Alrighty, jumping in. So we did tweak the mana base just slightly. 1 Fountain Port down, up 1 basic. So I think this hand's fine. So a little awkward with the mana, but I think we keep. This is an interesting line. Because obviously with Heartfire, I think we play the untap line this turn. Just see what they do. They're going to be tempted to pump here. We'll deal 2 here. This also takes them off a card, and they don't deal the damage. Untapped line to be great here. So we are a turn behind. Would have been able to just kill there, would have been nice. We have Helix, which can do some work. This also kind of 2 for 1 them. Okay, so they plot there. Let's go white here. I'm gonna wait for them to kind of set up their turn. I'm doing this now because this lets them draw a card. We're doing it because they could have 2 spells that they then subsequently get to get that value on. So this is pretty nice because it triggers the Valiant, but it'll take them off the mana for the turn. A land here would be very good for us. He says as he doesn't get a land. I'm just going to do this now. They could have pump effects, so just keeping them off is important. Land me. Jace. I think we can afford to take a turn off here. We're at 20 life. This will help me set up to do a double spell turn. Yeah, that's fine. Because this also just will gain me some life. My concern here is they could have like a Valiant effect. Target there. Shock there. And I think we're just gonna hold off here. We'll Helix here. They can deal 3 damage, but we gain the 3 life. So that's a little bit risky of a line, because if they had a pump effect, and then I have to like respond and kill it, it's a little worse. So here we're just going to sacrifice Carrot Cake. This draws us a card. I think we're interested in kind of turning the corner here a bit. I think we're going to go Caretaker's Talent. They want to kill my token, that's fine. Let's use the Lightning Strike on a 1/1. Another Heartfire come down. So they are on a little bit heavier mouse build. Torch the tower is nice here. I think we go white. White. Carrot Cake here, because now I have access to Torch the tower. I can also use the Sunken Citadel to draw a card. Don't think we want Lockdown. This draws us a card. Beautiful. So we're just looking for like a Forge or something now. The Torch the Tower is really nice against Heartfire Hero. here. Sack a token, draw a card. It's a little iffy because if they had a pump, it would have survived, but I think the way they were kind of playing it out, that was fine. We have another fountain port here. We'll just activate Carrot Cake. We're good on lands. Could up this turn. I think we're going to just do that. Their hand's like been a bit slow, so again, they've used 3 removal, like they've used 8 points of burn for my 1/1s. So they offspring here. We will just temporary lock down here. Get rid of both their mice. Now is the time we just turn the corner. We have Myrex. I can use it to draw cards. I can get bigger tokens. Yeah. So at that point, the Caretaker's Talent kept drawing us gas. And we were able to just kind of grind them out that way there. That was a number of creatures that came at us. We were still taking them down. Watch for the next one. Alrighty. Jumping into another one. This deck's been feeling pretty solid thus far. Opponent goes first. I think we keep. Let's go Biovac. Very aggressive. Very, very aggressive. This is an interesting line. Because if I want to lock down, I could still lock down, but I lose my Carrot Cake. It just Sunken Citadel, that gets them to play it out, but I think we do this. We're off that. So I could just gain 3 life. This kind of forces them into either using another spell, which is fine. I think here we're just going to name this white and pass the turn. Okay, so they're just pointing a ton of burn at face. This is my build of mono red. The case will be problematic. I think we do this. Need to find a get lost for that case. Torch isn't bad. They love to make you tap the worst way possible. So I do want the torch here, ideally for... I think we're taking 3 here. And then I'm temporary lockdowning. Jeez. Does not want to tap this. So this might be another land in hand. That's slowing them down on that case. You need to kill this. Give me a token maker. Okay, so we make a fish. We draw a card. Torch is nice. So they're going to be drawing a lot of cards. We have to be mindful of that. This instant speed removal will be good. We might need to start Myrexing to draw cards. Heartfire. Sure. 5 mana or 4 mana to kill that. We are cool with that. I think here activate Myrex, draw a card. Don't necessarily want to pop this just yet, so we will pass the turn. I do have the ability to kind of block and draw cards as well. We do want to find some of our life gain enablers. Just keep making mites, drawing cards. Forge is nice. And Get Lost. All very good. So we have the engine going now. This is why the case version of Mono Red's much better. If this was just normal Mono Red, they would have been ground out. But the case has been giving him so much like utility. We got a Roper. Ropa! I'm pretty, like, we've been drawing a lot of cards, which has impressed me these games. I think even if they kind of rope us out, I think at this point we stabilize pretty well. We have Sunfalls as like a backup precaution. We're at 10 life. We have a lot of incidental removal. It's going to be hard for them to deal the residual damage to us. Even soon we're going to be able to Caretakers, make these mites 3/3s, which will just be able to deal a ton of damage. Come on, friend. Don't think it's Salt Rope. It might be Disconnect Rope. Looks like they're back in the game. Back in Forge. Got that engine going. They could activate the Foundry, but I think that's fine. So I can't. My mana is just a little awkward. We're short another red source, so we just do this. They get the map tokens. They could be used with Heartfire Hero. Come on. Got him. Easy dubs. So they had a lot of pressure on us. They kept drawing out of it, but we kept putting down just impressive amounts of blockers, all things. So we'll catch you for the wrap up. Wrap up time. We went 3-1 with the deck, as you saw. We lost to Boros Convoke, where if our mana base wasn't just all colorless lands, we would have taken that one potentially down as well. We had a lot of sweepers in hand, which would have bode well. I do think the number of colorless and tap lines is a little bit of an issue in the deck. Outside of that, I do think I perhaps would want that additional one mana removal. I would probably cut the Virtue and then just play Elspeth Smite. I would probably also look to maybe trim on a Myrex and play another Plains. I think that's where I would be at with the deck. Otherwise, felt very strong. We drew a lot of cards. It gave us a lot of utility, all things considered. Was very happy with where the deck stood. Something I will definitely continue to try out as we kind of evolve. But felt good into mono black, felt good into the red-based aggro decks, which is what we want. And Convoke, you have temporary lockdowns and Sunfalls, all of which are very good cards for the deck. But let me know what you think. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.